So I'm standing there in a pair of hot pink plaid bondage pants, a black corset with hot pink lace, a black shrug, and my hair was hot pink. Just like Pink's in that There You Go video. I loved her. I was wearing a different shoe on each foot, so I'm standing there. This is my audition for Canadian Idol. So I'm like lightheaded, dizzy, got these crazy butterflies. I just sang Like a Virgin by Madonna. And in front of me are these 4 judges that I'd only ever seen on television. There was Zach Warner, Sass Jordan, Farley Flex, and Jake Gold. So I'm standing there, hot, sweaty, these lights are on me, these cameras are around, and I'm waiting for these judges to decide my fate. I totally knew this was gonna be my big break. Then Jake Gold opens up his mouth and he says, "You know, it's too bad you can't sing as good as you look." So the other judges laughed a little bit, and me felt like I'd just been kicked in the stomach really hard. All the wind was knocked out of me. I was hurt and embarrassed, confused. But I put a brave face on, held my head up high, walked out of that room. These cameras are following me around, trying to get a reaction, and I was like, I do not want to be like that on TV. So I held it together. I was 19 years old, and I got home, and I cried, and I cried, and I cried for a week after that. It was like something had broken inside of me that day. I'd just been trying and trying for so long, since I was 3 years old. You know, I played piano since 6. I was singing and writing songs. I'd been in and out of bands. I'd been recording and writing and playing, and I just wanted to make it in the music industry. So I nearly gave up, you know, because those words that those judges said to me just validated the words that I was saying to myself, you know, like, you're not good enough. You're not meant to do this. You're not the kind of person that's supposed to be an artist. So it just hurt even more hearing that from them. So anyway, I heard of this thing called session playing. And a few of my friends were doing it, and it was basically like you're hired as a musician to play whatever anyone wants you to play. So I started getting into that. I just wanted to do anything that would help me quit my day job and be a professional musician. So I remember sitting there outside my little apartment with my BlackBerry with that scroll wheel on the side. And I'd be scrolling through Craigslist and Kijiji ads, just looking for opportunities to play, to gig, for anybody that would hire me. It was exhausting, but I did it. And after a little while, things started to pick up. You know, I started getting auditions. I started working with lots of different artists, and eventually ended up with an artist named Shiloh. So she was under a major label, which was really cool, and she was supposed to be the next Avril Lavigne. So they'd put a lot of time and money and energy into her. So I was getting to, you know, meet these industry people. I was getting to be in photo shoots and video shoots and all this really cool stuff. I was getting to play festivals, opening for bands that I'd actually heard of, which was really cool. And then I'd be at a video shoot or something, you know, it would be like a 12-hour day. I'd be having hair and makeup done. And I just had this feeling inside that was like, I want to be doing this. I want to be the artist. Especially after I'd get home, and after that 12-hour shoot, I'd watch the video, and maybe my left hand would make its way into the shot. I don't know. But then those old words came back, the same ones that repeated over and over. You're not meant to do this. You're not the kind of person that's supposed to be the artist. It's too hard. You're never going to be good enough. So I kept doing it, kept doing the session work. And so one day I thought, maybe if I play for a bigger, more famous artist, maybe that'll make me feel better. So I sat down in my apartment, had my little white MacBook open, and I was, you know, just starting to daydream about the kind of artists that I would want to play with, and immediately thought of Pink. I was like, oh my God, she's awesome. I love her. Like, I just admired everything that she did, and I really wanted to play in her band. So I proceeded to email friends and other people I'd met in the industry, just asking them if they knew anybody who knew anybody who knew anybody that could get me some sort of connection to her. I didn't know anything. I didn't know if she was going on tour. I didn't know if she needed anyone, but there was just this feeling inside that told me that I should do this. So one day, I open up my MySpace. Yeah. And before this, I'd Googled all her band members and I was adding them on various social media, kind of like stalkery, but I did it anyway. And I sent them messages and stuff. But anyway, so I opened up my MySpace and there's a message from Pink's drummer. He'd actually written me back. I was so excited. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe, like, he actually took time out of his day. He didn't think I was some crazy fan. And he said, funny you should email. We're actually having auditions in 2 weeks in LA. And there's one spot open for keyboards, guitar, and backing vocals. And I'll send your information to the musical director, and we'll see what happens. So it's 2 weeks later. I'm in LA. I'd gotten an email back from the musical director inviting me to the auditions. This was my second audition. I'm in this giant rehearsal space, bigger than any room that I'd ever seen. There's like random people around helping set up. There's so much gear and instruments, and I'm just like overwhelmed. It was amazing, like a musician's dream. Pink's band is around me, and then she walks in. I was like starstruck. I was like, oh my God, I've like loved this woman since I was 13, and of course, I'm just like, play cool, whatever, you know? Hey, what's up? I'm Kat. It was just so weird. So she's wearing this beautiful long flowing sundress. She's got like her beautiful platinum blonde hair, these big aviator sunglasses, I think. And I just remember like trying not to like lose my shit, right? So then I go up on, it was like a little stage kind of thing. And I auditioned for Pink, and she was sitting right in front of me with the musical director, just like watching me. I have my Flying V guitar, you know, and I'm playing her these songs that I'd heard on the radio, like You in Your Hand, Who Knew, Sober, and that na 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 na, that one, which was really fun. It was just such a surreal experience, like getting to play these songs for the person that actually wrote and performed these songs right in front of me. So as I left the audition, it felt like I was floating, you know. I just couldn't believe that I just sang and played for Pink. Crazy. I waited for the other 3 people who had gotten a call back. I had my ear pressed against the door. I was just like listening. I'm like, damn, they're really good. And then the musical director walks out of the room, puts his 2 hands on my shoulders like that, looks me deep in the eyes, and he's like, you're the one. You got it. And I was like completely shocked, you know. I think I went into like fight or flight or something. I was like deer in headlights. I was just like so confused and like I couldn't believe this was actually happening. So he tells me like, you've got it. And I'm just like, oh, cool, awesome. And at the same time, I'm trying to like play it cool, right? So I think I felt like I also like left my body or something, and I was like watching from the outside. I was like watching the scene happen. I couldn't believe it was happening. It was insane. So I go into the room, everyone's like congratulating me, and I'm still just like, awesome, great. And Pink comes up to me and she's like, congratulations, you know, welcome to the family. I love your voice. I'll see you in a week for the next 2 years. And I'm like, okay, I guess this is happening. So I get home, pack up my life in a week, and I get out on the road. I'm riding in fancy tour buses, I'm going to celebrity parties, I'm playing to crowds of millions, sold out arenas and stadiums all around the world. I didn't even have to do my own laundry. It was amazing. Then on the break between tours, I got home and I was able to start writing again. I just started to do it for fun, writing, picking up my guitar, playing some piano, and it was really fun. I put together a band and I started, playing a couple shows, and one night stood out to me in particular. We were at a little bar called the Supermarket in Kensington Market doing an open mic. And we did 2 songs. And I just remember after those 2 songs, it felt incredible. It felt like I could take on the world. I felt exhilarated and high, just nothing that I'd ever felt before. And I was like, this is what I want. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. Then I went back on the road, and it was different this time. I would get up in the mornings and feel depressed. I wouldn't want to go on stage, and I felt so guilty because everyone around me was so awesome, and it was such a great tour, and but I just couldn't shake that feeling. You know, I'd be on stage at like the American Music Awards or something, which had been a big dream of mine. Kelly Osbourne is like introducing us. There's dancers flying around me. You know, I'm holding my flying V. I'm playing with one of the world's biggest pop stars. And all I could think about was that night in Kensington Market. It was crazy. The shows just started to feel empty. And in that moment, I started to think, maybe I am the type of person that's supposed to do this. Maybe I am supposed to be the artist. So after the last tour, I decided to stop. People would offer me tours, I'd turn them down. People would offer me session work, I'd turn it down. And now I get to focus on being my own artist, and I have a band called Toy Daggers. We have a few singles out on iTunes. And now when I wake up in the morning, I get to leap out of bed and run to my computer and start recording and producing music that I'd been dreaming about the night before. So I know that I'm not, riding a fancy tour bus. I'm not playing to crowds, millions and millions of people. I'm not going to celebrity parties. And I have to do my own laundry. But there's nothing in this world that makes me happier than being here tonight with all of you, getting you to play one of my songs. Thank you.